to really wreak some havoc on the Florida Keys and on Dade County. These outer really thick rain bands here, a lot of lightning, a lot of gusty winds, some very heavy rainfall, are just starting to move in to the Florida Straits and Dade County now, and will begin to move up to the north slowly into Broward County and then into our viewing area. We're getting some sort of scattered activity on the fringe of the circulation of Irma, but this is not yet one of those big rain bands that we're going to start seeing later today, tonight, and tomorrow. So there's a couple of showers moving in the Indian River County, St. Lucie, Martin County just had a little shower or two sweep on through, but look at this stuff here. And this is this is the rain band, but usually there's some more separation between the rain bands here. We're seeing some of the rain bands kind of come together to create these walls of water, if you will, moving in to the Florida Straits. And also, look at that. Look at Homestead getting swamped right here, and all along the beach in Miami. And out here, what you can't see is what's happening out here, because the radars are all over here on land, and their beams only extend out so far. So there's a lot of rainfall out here that we can't see, but once that rain comes into range, we'll be able to see a lot more of that. So the circulation obviously pulling everything around from east to west and northeast to southwest. And here's what's going to happen with Irma as we continue. First of all, there's this high pressure over here. This is what has been steering Irma along its track through the Leeward Islands, over by Hispaniola and over by Cuba now. But next on the list is this big trough. You see this big dip in the atmosphere and the winds right there? See how they kind of curve down? This trough is headed down this direction here. And that is going to break down this ridge that has been holding Irma down to the south. So Irma is going to be able to slip up between that trough and the ridge and make its way to the north. The question is, when will this ridge start to ease up and allow Irma to slip to the north? If it starts to ease up sooner, it's going to end up being a more easterly side of the cone there that you saw when I showed the track earlier. But if the high holds strong and the trough doesn't push it over too much, that's where you get into a more westerly track and possibly even a little farther to the west, which would be a much better situation for everybody in Florida. To track a little more to the west, with the exception of the Panhandle, which could see a real issue if it slips up to the west there and heads up toward the Gulf Coast along the Panhandle there, Alabama and Mississippi. That is still a possibility as well, but the current track looks to be in pretty good shape. Rain amounts in the yellow right here, I don't know if you can see or not. In the yellow and orange right there, that is 8 to 12 inches of rain. That's a good for Florida there, a good portion of it. And that's because we still have the potential for 6 to 12 inches in spots. Some computer models are estimating that we could see up to 20 inches in isolated locations, 20 inches of rainfall. So let me show you when we're going to start to see conditions really start to break down. We're going to start to see some of those rain bands coming in. When you look at this graphic, I know it's kind of hard to see Florida. It's right in this area here. So really, as we get into later today and tonight, tropical storm conditions starting to fill in from south to north. Here's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and pretty much the entire area with tropical storm conditions. That continues through Sunday night, and then finally by Monday, as the storm starts to move to the north, conditions will start to calm down. So we're going to talk about what wind speeds we could see in our viewing area, and then we'll break it down a little bit city by city and tell you when you specifically are going to see your conditions deteriorate and what you might see as Irma moves from south to north. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah, Glenn, we do appreciate it. Right. And we will, as Glenn just said, just thinking about those powerful winds we are going to experience, regardless of the next update.
I know we're not seeing the same track going straight up and right through our Palm Beaches to Treasure Coast, little slice of South Florida, if you will.
It's going to be an event.
There will be something going on, so please don't get complacent. And let's just keep watching these forecasts at 6:11 right now. If you're just joining us, thank you for trusting us with your Irma coverage.
And with that wind and the storm surge that there's potential for, some still might be looking for those shelters because evacuation orders, those are still in place right now. And 2 in Palm Beach County are at capacity. News Channel 5's Tori Dunnan joins us live with what you need to know about that. Hey there, Tori. Hey there, so you were talking about people getting complacent. Well, I can tell you we were just talking about how strange it is to be on Clematis Street on a Saturday morning, and we're literally the only people out here. You can see they've boarded everything up. A lot of people know that there's a curfew that's going to be in effect this morning in West Palm and then later in the day in Palm Beach County, and many people have already gone to those shelters. So as you mentioned, there are two at capacity. That's Westgate Elementary School and Independence Middle School. At Westgate, they actually had padlocks on the gates there, and there was a sign that was telling people to head to another nearby shelter. On last check, though, last night, about nearly 12,000 people in the county had gone to those shelters. In total, 15 open in Palm Beach County, but now down to 13 with those two. Just some quick reminders that you definitely need to bring your own supplies to the shelters. What they're recommending: 2 changes of comfortable clothes, flashlight, extra batteries, a cell phone battery operated charger, medicines, as well as snacks and any special diet foods you have, and then something to keep you entertained, games. But they also say, of course, you're going to be in a tight, confined space, so don't bring way too much stuff that it won't be able to fit in there. But people are definitely listening to those warnings and have headed to the shelters for the most part, although we have seen maybe a person or two kind of walking around out here, but they all seem to know the curfew's in effect and they plan to hunker down if they're not going to one of those shelters. We'll send it back to you.